Shalom, shalom. All praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who are my teachers and my elders, who are the true leaders of all Israel on earth today. Salutations to the Akim on the four corners of the earth, confusion of face as well, that do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. All right, and to the Akwaf that are listening and learning. This is going to be a quick correction, strict correction to end times prophecy, which is just another Edomite attempt to slander the Hebrew Israelites, especially trying to use that terminology black. One of them Johnny come latelys. You know, there's already 2,000 videos debunking the whole black thing. All right, and that we're just with the Hebrew Israelites, man. And the Bible refers to the Israelites many a times as a dark flesh people, and the relics that were left behind say the same, man. So this guy, they trying to change the meaning of words. They're just pathetic, man. So this whole sit down is just going to be the revealing of Edomites referring to themselves as Edomites. All right, to Edomite scholars and historians, both Edomite Christians and Edomite Jewish people as well, who in times past documented their own history, man. All right. So before I start, I want to read Psalms 83. And I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 6. Okay? And this is a prayer that King David is praying against the enemies of the Israelites. The number one culprit and ringleader of this sect of enemies is the Edomite, who beyond a shadow of a doubt is the so-called white man today. All right? But yet he wants to claim that he's a Jew. All right, so let's read it. And it reads, "Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and assaulted and consulted against thy hidden ones." The hidden ones are the Israelites, because the people who were the Israelites, it wasn't known that they were Israelites because of this very act that was done by this conglomerate of nations. They have said, "Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, and they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom," which means the house, the family, the people of the Edomites. All right, and the head of the Edomites today on earth is Amalek, and Amalek are the people who refer to themselves as Jewish. The head of those people being the Rothschilds. And the Ishmaelites, like those Palestinians over there. Okay, and Moab, those are the Chinese. All right, for you Moors. All right, that's a whole nother thing that I'm just going to continue to go at them and what's this guy, the seed of Israel? Man, I'm gonna completely annihilate you with the scriptures, my man. You don't know the scriptures, all right? You're gonna get smacked with the truth, like this, not like this, all right? And the Hagarenes, and Gabal, and Ammon, all right? The Hagarenes, those were more Ishmaelites. Those were the sons of Hagar. All right. Hagar was the one who got put by, and her child didn't matter. That was Abraham's son, and he put her away. All right. Actually, the Lord put her away, but she was put away, and her child was put away with him. And the blessing that he got, he became a great nation, and that was it. And Abraham didn't have to pay child support or alimony either. All right. And then it says, and the Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre. Those were those Hamites, man, that occupy the land of Palestine today. Those were the people that were in the land of Canaan. Those Africans, those Hamites. Okay? Assur is also joined unto them. They have helped the children. They have helped the children of Lot, Salah. And Lot's children were Ammon and Moab, man. And Ammon and Moab were part of that conglomerate, see, that came against, that what do they call it when big groups of people come together? Now my memory's failing me. It starts with the C. But nevertheless, they made, what's the word that he used right here? They consulted against the Israelites together, man. So my question to the end times prophecy is, where's the history to prove that the Jewish people, that a whole group of people came against them, erased their history, and then they had to remember who they were? Because according to the Jewish, the way they teach and the way that they brag about themselves is they've known who they were all along, making them not match the history, man. And I'm going to read just 2 scriptures to substantiate what I just said, all right, which I've read many a times. The first one's in the book of Baruch, all right? That's the first one. All right? I ask this question every week, and no one answers it. No one. It still has yet to be answered, okay? No one answers the question, man. And the other one's in Deuteronomy. Oh, after Sirach. I was going to go before it. Salakia. And here it is. This is Baruch 2:30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. All right? So, but according to Jewish history, they've always known who they were. All right? You get these people making these comments on my videos and on the apostles' videos, on the elders' videos, on all the other brothers' videos, and they're always bringing up all this Anglo-Saxon Scott. Hey, those were Negroes, man. That was the Dark Ages. Stop playing. And the relics prove that. All right. Don't go to the Renaissance and the medieval. You got to go back to the Dark Ages. The relics from the period of time prove to you who was ruling over Europe. All right. Hence the reason why they came against the Southern Kingdom so hard with slavery, because they were trying to recompense them, like it says in Joel. They were trying to recompense them for the destruction of Rome. The so-called white man, who was Esau Edom, lost his kingdom and his rulership over the earth, man, which was Rome. His Greek, he was so proud of Greek and the Grecian kingdom and the Roman kingdom, and those kingdoms fell at the hand of so-called black people, the black emperors, because why? Same way they are now. They were all in the military and in the police and in soldiers, and then they rose up and took you down, man. All right, that's what they did, and they try to cover up and hide that history, man. When you watch the movie Gladiator, all the lead characters should have been so-called black people, man. Rome was no longer it was the Holy Roman Empire at that time. It was no longer the pagan Roman Empire, man. Jake took it over. That's fact. Look up Septimius Severus and what's his name? Niger. Pescennius Niger, man. Or Pescennius Nigger, actually, to be correct, because it's pronounced nigger, not Niger. Okay? Because it didn't mean, nigger didn't mean back then what it means now. It was no different from saying negro or black. It just meant dark and nothing more. It wasn't a negative connotation to it. All right, and I have a dictionary to prove that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get it now that I said it. Salakia is right behind me. Don't have to go far. Just to prove that point, since I said it, this is the Winston Simplified Dictionary Encyclopedia Edition. All right? So, just to prove that the so-called white man, Esau Edom, is a liar, man. And that our people are constantly coming against us when we're trying to give them the truth, man. And they become that false definition that Esau placed upon the word nigger. All right, and I'm going to show it to you. All right, it reads, I'm going to read it first and I'm going to put it up to the camera. And it reads, nigger, pronounced N-I-G-E-R. All right, and I'm going to show it to you. So it's not Niger, it's nigger. Okay, always was. Okay, and it reads, and it says, noun, French, negri, Spanish, negro, dark-skinned one, Latin, nigger, black, a negro, usually a contemptuous or vulgar term. All right, it's no, Salaki. It says now usually a contentious or vulgar term. Any dark-skinned person prevailing among the characteristics of American Negroes. So they didn't this. They telling you to, because that was a word that came to life here in America, and that's why it says now. Because in the past, it didn't mean that. They didn't call Africans who are also dark complected. They didn't call them niggers. They didn't call East Indians, who some of them are just as dark as Africans. All right, I see East Indians all the time, and they're way darker than me, and dark as or darker than some Africans I've seen. Okay, they weren't referred to as niggers 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago. All right, and the Arabs, who are also darker than some Africans, if you've never been in that part of the world, you see them. All right. All the nations of the world were dark, but somehow that word nigger got placed on Americans, black Americans here. Notice it said black Americans and not African Americans, because this book is from 1931. So for all you younger people who want to cleave unto that, that's a false narrative, man. The Esau controlling information to hoodwink you, man. All right, because you have nothing to do with Africa. That was a land that you fled into to blend in. Why? Because you were dark. Okay, so it says now a negative term. So that's a little tad bit of history there. Okay. So once again, the other scripture we were supposed to go to, Deuteronomy 30:1, and it reads, and it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curses. Because when you go to Deuteronomy 28:46, I believe, it said these curses would be on you for a sign, for a wonder. So to identify you, the Jewish people didn't go through any of these curses. White people didn't go through any of these curses. Yet they want to claim to be Anglo-Saxons. They want to claim to be Israelites. All right? And they're the ones that applied these curses. The main ones. They applied these curses to people. They weren't victims of them. All right, and it said, it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I shall set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither Yahweh thy power have driven thee. So we will call to mind among the places where we were scattered, hence creating the confusion of face, not a confused look on your face. For you black power Israelites, you idiots, man, that seed of Israel, man, like I said, like this, not like this. All right, it's stupid, man. Trying to smack some sense into you. Okay, but let's go to the first tidbit of information. This is from the Encyclopedia Judaica, 1971, volume 10. All right, Edomite Jews began to call themselves Hebrew Israelites in 1860. Let's read the scripture, man, because end times prophecy, in the greatness of his stupidity, and the greatness of his arrogant, racist rant. All right, using propaganda, false words, false narratives with false meanings. Love to use that word black, man. And no one is this color. Here's a top. No one's that color, man. All right, people are different shades of brown, ruddy, like this rusty reddish brown garment that I'm wearing. All right, not pale flesh. All right, because remember it said it referred to leprosy being as white as snow, man. All right, that's that pale translucent. The biblical leprosy is having that pale flesh where your blood shows forth through it. All right, There was when Moses did it, when he put his hand in his bosom and pulled it out. All right, like I'm wearing a black shirt. He was brown, not black. No one's black, man. No one's white. And if you're pale like that, then you're a clean leper. If it's all over your body, if it's in spots, then you're unclean. It's as simple as that. Moses put his hand in his bosom and pulled it out, and it was pale as snow. All right, that will be that's not ruddy. That's pale, and that's leprosy. All right. So you can go on with that garbage about ruddy. My garment is ruddy, man. Okay. Google ruddy duck, ruddy cow, and ruddy people. And you're going to see dark brown people with red hues in their skin, man. Brownish red. All right. Brown being an applicable word. All right. Revelation 2:9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And this is a many-fold scripture, man, because that was referring to Israelites who were being wicked as hell, but it was also referring to you Edomites who were calling yourself Jewish. All right, because the history of John Hyrcanus is in secular history, and it's also in the apocryphal scriptures, man. First Maccabees, the 16th chapter, is about the death of John Hyrcanus and his son Jonathan. All right, and I forget which his other son, but the two sons that died with him at the hand of his son-in-law. All right, who was an Edomite, Ptolemy. All right, that history is also in the and here's another Edomite history revealing itself. The History of the Jews by Henry Gratz, JPS 1895. All right, in chapter 1. It gives you that history, man. So the Jewish people, the Romans, and the Greeks were indeed Edomites, man. Herod was the son of Antipater, an Edomite. You can't get around these facts. You people want to always dilly away from the facts and then create a narrative using this whole black thing. And now since you've got the whole world brainwashed on black, then they just shut down. All right? But like it says in Hosea, it's going to be revealed who in the place where it said, you are not my people, it shall be said, you are my people. And you, Mr. End Times Prophecy, you pale, funny-looking Edomite, you're a pathetic specimen, by the way, man. I can't even imagine an Edomite woman lying with you. I'd be afraid my children would look like you because you're one ugly son of a gun, man. All right? Let's read some more Edomite history of them revealing themselves. This is from the Jewish Almanac, 1980, page 3. Strictly speaking, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew or to call a contemporary Jew an Israelite or Hebrew. Now, the truth of the matter is, the fake Jews today, all right, as he kept using that quote, as we use it, they are Hebrews, but they're Hebrew Edomites, because the Edomites are Hebrews too. Are not they Jacob's brother? When he said, I have loved Jacob, but I've hated Esau in the book of Romans. All right, so they're Hebrews too. They're just the Hebrew Edomites, man. You're not the right. There are many Hebrews families, man, that are still here on earth today. All right, just like they created their anti-Semitism, man. You know, that's first of all, there's no such thing as a Semite. It's Shem. It's a Shemite. When you Google the word Semite in the Strong's Concordance or the Blue Letter Bible, it tells you, quite frankly, that and if I had my phone, I'd show it to you, or I screenshotted it. That it, because I'm using my phone, it says that word does not exist. Just like the word immaculate conception doesn't exist. That phrase doesn't exist because it never happened. All right. Yahweh Shah, who the world stupidly and ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right. He is of the seed of Joseph because Joseph is of the seed of Jacob. All right. And there are many scriptures to substantiate that. And you just choose not to read them or ignore them, man. All right. More Edomite references from scholars, people that are a lot smarter than you, had a lot more credit than you, End Times Prophecy News. All right, here's yet another one. Matter of fact, let's read Revelation 3 and 9 first. This is Revelation 3 and 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. And so that lines right up with Hosea. Matter of fact, let me just read it, man, because that's one of my favorite scriptures, because it's like my motivational scripture when I'm feeling not so great, which is often, man, because we're in hell, man. We're in hell trying to defend. You've taken everything from us, man, including our heritage, man, and now we found it out. And the saddest thing is that we have to battle with our own people, man. This is Hosea 1:10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power. All right? Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together, which the men of GMS and the Hebrew Israelites in general have done that. All right? Except for you Black Power Israelites. It just totally retards. Because my question to you Black Power Israelites, you see the Israel guy, is that when Nehemiah was laying hands, like the hands that need to be laid on you to smack some sense back into you, when he was laying hands on those Israelites who were intermingling with the Moabites and the Ammonites, all right, the ones whose fathers were Israelites, were they not Israelites or were they heathens? That's my question to you, all right? And if you're stuck on it, if you got to think about it, go read Numbers 1 and 18. All right. So, covered all that. Let's get 2 more sources, man, and be done with this lesson. This is the book, which you can Google, and and this book has been very popular yet again. After a while, it kind of died down, but this is Who is Esau Edom? All right, which I paid about $16 for this book about 10 years ago. And now this book is I've seen it as high as $4,000, man. The average price is probably around $2,000. They do not want the information in here coming out because this lines up with their secular history. It lines up with the with all these different, with these Jewish encyclopedias and almanacs that I just read. It also lines up with the history of the Jews by Henrik Gratz from 1895, man. And that's a 5-book series, man. And so this history lines up with it, man. So you can't get around this, man. All right? You Edomites are on the ropes, man. Matter of fact, you're not even on the ropes. You on the mats, looking up at the lights, man. It's like, it's like I always say, you just need to go ahead and just live it up, man. To live it up. And that history about John Hyrcanus and the conversion is in here too. It's in this book. I'm looking for a specific part though. This already brought that out. I don't need to read it again in this book, but it's definitely here. This is what I wanted to read, the introduction. And see, this is the mindset of the guy from End Times Prophecies, Vocab Malone, Dr. James White, the Edomite. These facts are these are books that were written. And by the way, this information about these almanacs can be found at Swin Etel Lercy at Israelite News. That's where this information came from his email. Swin, SWEN ETILEREARSI at Israelite News. All right, that's what these and although I was very aware of these, but he had it all in order, so I just used his. But that's where that came from. But what I'm about to read, this is a mindset of all these Edomites that are coming hard against the truth, man. All right, the life and history of Esau. Esau was firstborn son of Isaac, thus was the heir to the birthright derived from the direct racial lineage of Adam to Noah. Thus was Esau racially an Adamite, Semite, which is no such thing as Shemite. That's them throwing that mess in there. A Hebrew and a racial stock of the white race. This is by Charles Weissman, man. Like I said, all this information comes from so-called white scholars, man. All right? Okay? But here's the introduction. It says, the material presents strong meat of God's words, which is intended to edify and nourish strong Christians, all right? Hebrews 5:12 and 14, all right? It is thus specifically intended for those who have advanced to the stage of understanding the racial perspective of the Bible. Because you have to understand, There were 18 nations in the book of Genesis in the 10th chapter, man. All right? And the Lord only chose one, and it was the Hebrew Israelites. Okay? It is revealing the mysteries of scripture surrounding Esau, Edom to this book, which deal with history, prophecy, ethnology, providence, symbology, and eschatology. The book traces the life and destiny of Esau and his descendants and the Edomites and their relationship to Jacob, Israel, to power, to God, to historical and current events. And see, they don't want to deal with prophecy. And because it told you how, not only to give you the physical characteristics, he just told you that they were of the white race, all right, that the Edomites are, okay? But it told you what they will be doing. And like I said, they were so proud of Greece and Rome until it revealed that they're the Edomites. Now they're not so proud of it anymore, trying to disconnect from it, all right? With all your horse and pig fucking and all the bestiality and homosexuality and all the madness that went on. Just watch an episode of Spartacus, man, especially season 2. Okay? The main goal of this material is to reveal the plans of the ways of God regarding the role of Esau and his descendants. So it's when it says he hated Esau, it's talking about his descendants. Esau is meaning the whole race of them. The seed that came out of Esau, not just Esau himself. And his descendants in the world. Thus, the book may well provide a definitive answer to some of the world's most perplexing questions. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. Last information, and I've been into these books so many times. You can go back and read and go back and watch some of my older videos, and you'll probably see the screenshot of me holding the book, okay? You'll see the screenshot, all right? This is The Roman Empire of the Edomite, 1853, by Cambridge scholar William Beeston. All right, you hear that end time prophecy news? All right, I'm just going to read the one page, which is page 9. And it reads that this grand secret was certainly discovered and disclosed more than 1,200 years ago, that the true answer to the question whence came the Romans may have been returned, even registered in writing before the birth of Hamashiach, that the response proceeded that the response proceeded neither from Greek nor Roman, but from the despised Jew. That is, and we just read all these Jewish almanacs and history and et cetera, and so this is what he's talking about, all right? That it has been preserved to us in the Jewish Targums that exists amidst the fables and impities and absurdities, that the blasphemies of the Jewish Talmud, because when John Hyrcanus converted them to Jewish, this is what they started doing. They started bringing the Talmud and all this other stuff in, and that's where you get all this Jewish from, all right? Because Israelites, Judeans, and Israelites didn't worship the Talmud, didn't acknowledge it. That was something new that was brought in by the Jewish. Revelation 2 and 9. I know the blasphemy of them would say they are Jews and are not. All right? And that it may be comprehended in these 20 words. The Romans came from Esau, who is Edom. And Italy is the Idumea Rome, the Bosra of the Hebrew prophets. Isaiah 34, verses 1 through 6, man. All right? And in Isaiah and in Obadiah, end time prophecy news, you are set for extermination and all your kind. All praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Bashim Nabashai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutations to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives of freedom to do so. And Abba Ball.